Some of the cosmonauts you see here, all of them talked about UFOs. Especially the lady in the middle, Marina Popovich, she does a lot to bring out this information. But Soviet cosmonauts, they knew as much as the Americans, and sometimes were more outspoken about UFOs and the things they saw in outer space. I present a lot of it in my books. More information is coming out. This case was the so-called fifth expedition in 1981. We don't know what happened. They definitely had UFO sightings. I know Antonio Junius published an article about it. I published quite a lot too. The reports varies from whether the Soviet cosmonauts had actual observations of gigantic 9-foot tall beings floating in space next to the spaceship they had observed, or just an explosion of a UFO-like object outside the portholes. Kovalyonok, one of them, is now a top politician in Russia. He speaks about this case sometimes. What I know from reports of the gentleman down below, General Beregovoy, who passed away, unfortunately, is that a film exists of the UFO encounter that was filmed aboard that spaceship. Very unusual case. Georgy Grechko, he is one of the top cosmonauts, a very intelligent man who sometimes talks about UFOs, sometimes says, he used to say, well, we saw this gigantic image, huge image of a humanoid being over the skies of Mongolia. Please remember it. We still have a few minutes. We'll get into this. We observe it. We don't know what it is. Okay? Then he said, well, I don't think UFOs exist, but in the past, yeah, there are reports of ancient visitations, like a few others. He didn't believe in UFOs until I think he went to London and saw this very interesting painting that I guess many of you might have seen, the 1486 painting of a UFO object in the sky. So that convinced him. Other people were convinced in other ways. For example, the Russian spaceports, cosmodromes where UFOs come, it's like their home. They come for a visit. They ask no one. During the most strategic test of Soviet equipment, UFOs are always there. Sometimes we get photographs like those. And again, this could not be a Soviet military test over there, at the same time as they had, a launch of a spaceship. Americans, I don't think the U.S. had technology to be there constantly and presently, and U.S. and USSR would have shut them down. Some of the other cosmonauts that definitely speak about UFOs, I wish I had more time to get into some cases, but it's very interesting. Russian cosmonauts, as you can see, and former Soviet cosmonaut. The lady on the left, I love the Chinese writing too. She and her crew observed angel-like beings aboard their spaceship in the orbit that came from nowhere, that talked to them in their minds, but they appear to be looking like angels. And it's very hard because she was an atheist, like all other Soviet cosmonauts. It was much tougher to explain down below what they had actually seen in this, out in the orbit, because they didn't want to be considered to be insane. But they did make a report. Still nobody knows what happened when those gigantic beings came inside their minds and their spaceship.